The room, cloaked in darkness, was filled with remnants of a long-abandoned life, dusty books, yellowing parchment, and an old mirror that seemed to pulse with a ghostly light. They stepped inside, their imaginations ignited with fear and excitement. As Lena raised her camera to capture the moment, she felt a cold draft wrap around her ankles, sharp and deliberate. In the mirror's reflection, she saw not just herself but behind her, a shadowy figure draped in a tattered gown, its face obscured. Lena spun around, but the room was empty. Her heart raced and the whispers grew louder, now a cacophony of chaotic voices that sounded eerily familiar. "Get out! Get out!" they murmured, driving into her mind like shards of glass. Panic surged, and the trio hurried to retreat, but as they reached the door, it slammed shut. They were trapped. Jake pounded against the door, yelling, while Emily screamed in terror as the room began to distort, the walls warping and the air thickening with an oppressive weight. Lena's flashlight flickered and then died, plunging them into a void. In that darkness, the voices changed, becoming clearer, more distinct. It was Abigail. They could feel her lingering spirit, her sorrow and rage. "What do you want?" Lena cried, feeling her voice tremble in the darkness. "Release me! Set me free!" the voice echoed, woven with pain. Emily pressed against the door, trying desperately to open it. "We have to get out of here!" "Wait!" Lena exclaimed, stepping forward toward the flickering outline of the mirror. She felt an icy chill beckoning her closer, a pull she couldn't resist. "Maybe she needs something from us, we can help!" But as she reached out, the mirror rippled violently, and suddenly, images flashed before her. Abigail's life, her trials, her anger, and her desperate need for revenge against the town that cast her aside. The room swirled, and with each pulse, Lena could see fragments of the past, the townspeople's faces twisted in fear, betrayal, and horror. "Abigail," Lena whispered, compassion flooding her heart. "We can't change what happened, but we can remember you." With newfound resolve, she turned back to Jake and Emily, panting in the chaos. "We need to honor her." As they joined hands, Lena began to speak, recounting the stories of Hollow Creek, of how they saw her not as a monster, but as a woman wronged by the world. Emily and Jake, unsure but willing to support Lena, echoed her words, their voices merging with the tumult of the space around them. The whispers began to quiet, the oppressive weight lessened just slightly, as if the house itself was listening. In a breath-holding moment, the door trembled and then creaked open, allowing a sliver of moonlight to spill into the room. The air, once heavy with despair, shifted, transformed. With a flick of the wrist, the ghostly figure of Abigail appeared, not as a shadowy specter but a transparent echo of her former self. She gazed at the three of them, her expression both tragic and grateful. "Thank you," came the soft, echoing voice, and then she was gone. As the creaking house settled, the trio stumbled out into the cool night air, gasping for breath. They stood at the threshold of the mansion, adrenaline coursing through their veins. The fog, once swirling around them, now began to dissipate, revealing the twinkling lights of Hollow Creek in the distance. "Did we really just—" Jake started wide-eyed. "Yes," Lena replied, feeling an unusual peace wash over her. "We did something good." But as they turned to leave, Lena paused, casting one last glance back at the mansion. A single window shone brightly with a spectral light, as if Abigail Holloway was finally at rest, her story etched into the fabric of time, intertwined forever with the echoes of Hollow Creek. And in the heart of the woods, the whispers danced anew, tales of a witch who had once roamed now softened into a song, a haunting melody carried by the wind.